Hello all, my name is Max. I am an avid player of this fantastic game, Aurora, and albeit very, very complex, it's just a fantastic game, especially when you get down to it. And I would love to help you guys get to that point of really enjoying this game. So let's go ahead and get started. This time we're going to see our new colony, the moon, really come to life here. Alright, so what we did previously, a way to jump to the economic screen for a particular planet is right-clicking populations, the moon. What we did last time was bring infrastructure over there. Now then, you'll note that we didn't do a colony ship, and I don't plan on building colony ships. And by colony ships, I mean ships that can transport people. One brilliant, I'm going to say innovation, which isn't necessarily the right word, but I'd like to give him as much credit as possible, that Steve put into this game was a civilian fleet. Last time you saw that task orders get infrastructure from one place to another. Alright, that's great for your first one, but what if you had a whole empire to manage? It just gets too tedious, and what Steve has is a civilian fleet that takes care of all this very automatically. And civilians need this wealth to really function. So what we want to do is go over here and take a look at shipping line information. Hal's Shipping Logistics has 6,000 wealth. What I want to do is give him about we'll stop here. We'll give him a ton of wealth, and that way he's going to get started building ships. Now, why would he want to build ships? Of course, it's economic. He wants to make a profit. But why would he do it? Why would Hal want to do anything if there's no demand? Well, what we just did was create the demand. Now that there's infrastructure on the moon, there's going to be demand for people to move there, because 500,000 people can live on the moon. And let's face it, you and I both know that if we had the opportunity to move to the moon, we would. And even just a tour there would be fun. So now that there's a demand, hopefully our civilian fleet kicks in and starts making ships. This can sometimes take a little bit of time, but we'll see how that goes. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. We're going to wait quite a while. Go minimum zoom back in, and I'm going to give it a good 30 days here to see what happens. Okay, that's just a small bug. All the cargo task groups, but you'll see here civilian construction. Hal just built a space liner. A space liner is not the same as a colony ship. A space liner is it's like a cruise. People are on board the space liner, enjoying space, enjoying the time. If you've ever been on a cruise, they're eating all the food on there, and there's a small amount. Now, a colony ship transports people en masse into another colony in cryogenic sleep. But the space liner, it's like a cruise, and you're awake the whole time. But the point is, they actually did it. And what we'll do here is give them 6 hours, and you can see right now that they are loading colonists at the Earth. So what was that? 3, 4, 30, and now they've decided we're going to go to the moon, which is very exciting. So they went to the moon, and now they're loading. They have this new mission, loading colonists at Earth, because obviously they've already dropped people off at the moon. We can go to populations. There are people there. There's not that many. I think it's like 50,000. No, less than 50,000. Less than 10,000, but there are people there, and you can tell there are a lot of people. Whoever's there, they are broken into population. So there's people there, and you have a growth rate that's greater than 0, which indicates that there are people. There has to be. You can't have a growth rate if there's 0 people there. So, and then you can tell there's signature there. So you got people, which is very cool. We'll give a day, another day here. Let's put it through a few 12 hours. All right, so you can see there's another, if you look at the our events log, there was another space liner that was launched. Now we have a freighter. Let's go ahead and zoom out. Let's take a look at the shipping line information. You can see HALS now has 3 ships. All right, you have space liners here. You can okay, so 1,200 people were on board when we're last talking, but they've been going back and forth. And then you have this freighter. It's a small freighter, meaning it can only carry so much, and you can see how many trips that HALS has made back and forth with colonists. So if you add those up, you should have well, you should have a population, not much of one, but a population on the moon. In fact, you can tell on the population 0.01 million, so about 100,000 people, more or less. They're probably rounding up. So now you have a freighter, and the freighters, what they do in the civilian ship is, if you look at the wealth trade, they move between the Earth and the Moon. Now the Moon, when it's very beginning, it's only going to want infrastructure. Eventually, when it gets to a lot of people, it's going to have a full list of different trade goods. But as it stands, that is not the case. So we'll keep giving this a little bit more time here. Hopefully they'll build some more things. The reason I have small increments right now instead of 30 days, I believe that they don't exactly work out the way you want to. These civilian fleets, and they need small increments to do the orders and refresh orders. They don't do a big long list of missions. They do short lists, and they need these small increments to give it new orders. And that might be wrong. That's just my belief. So anyway, you can see in the last few days here, but you have a colony ship now and another space liner. The colony ship's going to hold a lot more people in there. Let's see, does it say how much? Not here. I could look it up, but it's not a big deal. But they're moving people with that colony ship, and people are getting there a lot faster. And you can see, we now have 130 million people there. So it's moving along. And what's going to happen eventually is there's going to be so many people there, the demand for more infrastructure is going to go up. I'll let you see that. The demand for infrastructure is going to go up, and then the freighter is going to kick in and bring not your infrastructure that you're building, but the own civilian infrastructure that they produce on their own. You do not have to produce any more infrastructure for your colonies at this point. They can take care of it by themselves, which is absolutely fantastic. It cuts down micromanagement and just is overall a fantastic idea. Okay, you can see in that break that there is no additional civilian construction, nor in that break either. I might just have to cancel this out, but we'll see. Okay, so another colony ship has been launched, which is fantastic. And now you can see like they've been going back and forth, and now the freighters, like I said, kicked in, started bringing in infrastructure to the moon. So remember, it had 100. Well, that's not necessarily true anymore. The moon should now have, yeah, a good amount more. The people have exceeded that 500,000 mark, and now it's taking care of itself. This is a self-sustaining system at this point. You could easily walk away, and the moon should be fine at this point, until it gets to about 10 million people, in which case it's going to need protection, essentially, which we'll take care of. We'll do that next time. All right, there we go. Have a good one.